Welcome to the Pandemonium Witches podcast, where the ADHD has just a touch of autism, where the true crime is as scary as the hauntings and unsolved cases. But the hosts never stay on topic for long. I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Em.
And I'm Meg.
Keep your arms, legs, and other extremities in the vehicle at all times, and enjoy the show. So, we have tried to start this episode like 10 times. There you go. There you have it. It's been a day. It's been a morning.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Happy New Year.
Mm-hmm. Happy any holiday that you celebrate during the winter festivities.
We're still trying to figure out, this is 2024 for us still.
Yes.
So we don't.
Our glitches are having glitches.
Yeah, our glitches are having glitches. Thank you, Mercury and Gatorade. So, we will know later. We'll know later. Let me move that back. Let me see if that keeps it where it's at. I don't like that because then it's not loud enough. So I will be able to tell you guys probably in the next couple of episodes what happened. That was the shitstorm that was the Christmas Eve of Dinners Past. I haven't gone home for Christmas in
a few years.
It's been almost 10 years.
A few years.
It's a few years. It's one of those things where he was joking. He was just like, I'm so going to fart at the table. And I was like, you will do no such thing.
Out of respect for my parents, you will do no such thing.
Out of respect for me. I was like, you can go outside. And he laughed, and I was like, you think I'm joking?
Especially with shit that crawls up his ass and comes back out.
Oh my God. It's like something died in there. So
every time.
I was like, look, if you want to be funny, you can be funny, but make jokes. Don't do something crude like that because you will lose all respect for my mother.
And jokes have to be ha-ha funny for everybody.
Right.
Not just you.
They have to be ha-ha funny for everybody, not just you. Because if you think it's funny, and I don't think it's funny, I guarantee you, the rest of everybody,
not funny.
It's not funny. And he's just like, well, how do I know it's not funny and that you just aren't, laughing because you're not in a good mood? And I was like, baby, if it's not funny, I'll tell you it's not funny. And he's like, okay.
Right.
So,
there will be signs.
There will definitely be signs. It's definitely, I'm scared,
Right.
I'm definitely scared that it's not going to be a fun time. I already know my brother's going to start some shit. Everybody in the group knows that. But, of course, we have done this introduction 10 times. So
hopefully this will be the one that takes.
I hope so. Let's just say I want to throw my computer out the window.
But you're not going to because that shit was expensive.
Listen, I'm still paying it off. I'm paying on installments. I have a good story for us today. It's not a good story. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's not a good story, but it's something that was graced the media. It was very popular.
Okay.
And it was something that if you were anybody on TikTok, you knew about this.
That's not much help.
No, it's not. Really left it up to the suspense there,
You did.
I did. I tried. So today, let me just bring that back up. I'm gonna just use my phone. That way I can keep the computer up.
Okie dokes.
Damn. It's not letting me fix it. It's fine. It's fine. It's probably due for an update or something. It's fine.
It's just the fact of the matter.
Right. The fact that I have to actually do that. We're just going to lower this and bring it down here so that way I can just at least see it while I'm reading my research. Too Long Didn't Read. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a documentary about this. It's called The TikTok Star Murders.
I hate it already.
I know, I'm sorry. So everyone knows about TikTok, right?
Yes.
Even though I haven't been on TikTok in forever, everyone knows about TikTok. TikTok was originally created in 2016 by ByteDance. And back then it was called Musical.ly.
Mm-hmm.
So, internet entrepreneur Zhang Yiming which is a Chinese tech company with ByteDance. He is a internet tech entrepreneur. As of 2022, it has over 3 billion downloads and over 1 billion active users every month.
Holy shit.
So, one of the main things, aside from viral dance videos and skits and short stories with multiple personalities, it has become super popular for users such as Julian Berzanski, which is the mustache guy that we love.
Yes.
Queen Estrella, which is now Queen Estrella.
Married.
We love that for her. Call Me Chris. We love her. Selena Spooky Boo, along with tons of others. Those are just 4.
Just a few.
But do you know who else got super popular for the worst reason possible?
Who?
Ali Abulaban, 31, also known as Jin Kid, and Anna Abulaban, 28, also known as Anna Mace Windu. They met in 2014 when they were both serving in the United States Air Force in Okinawa, Japan.
Okay.
Following their meeting in Japan, Ali was discharged from the Air Force after allegedly assaulting a friend of Anna's. After Ali was discharged, he went back to Virginia, and Anna went back to the Philippines because that's where she was originally. She now has citizenship, right? So the couple moved close to Ali's family in Bristow, Virginia, after learning that she was pregnant.
Okay.
So after Ali found out that she was pregnant, after she was like, "Yay, I'm having a baby," he was able to get her a visa to live with him in the U.S., where they began his family, and he began his career online. So he was making content for Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. They married in 2017. And in 2019, Ali started getting a huge online presence after he would post videos of doing like sketch comedy, impressions of Tony from Scarface, Takashi from 6ix9ine, and tons of Skyrim characters. So his whole goal was to become a TikTok internet superstar.
Okay, I mean, understandable.
Right. So just like Sylvia, the girl that does the toxic workplace environments.
Yes.
Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his girlfriend, soon to be wife, Anna, she became a regular on his videos, helping him record or starring in the videos with him.
Right. Understandably.
Of course, whatever is online is what we like to show people, right?
Right.
Everything seems perfect to friends and fans and people that follow them. The more popular that he got, the more he began to share snippets of his actual personal life to his audience.
Okay.
This led his followers to believe that they had the perfect relationship, that there was nothing wrong.
What's behind the scenes is what's important.
Absolutely, because whenever there's something behind closed doors, that's when things get sketchy.
Yep.
So Anna, she had friends in San Diego, and she convinced Ali that it would be good for his career to be moved to California. So, of course, when that happened, they moved in 2021, and his online presence became huge.
Yeah, makes sense.
And this caused her to get more isolated. You know where this is going, and I'm really, really sorry, but it was requested, so we got to do it.
I know.
So Of course, the main reason, aside from this getting requested, is a lot of drug addiction was used at this point. So he became severely addicted to cocaine. And he shared a lot about him doing, you know, nose candy on his social media.
Of course.
So at this same time, Anna started to gain a huge following. So not only was he getting immensely popular, she was getting a huge following.
He
Um,
didn't like that, did he?
no, he didn't. It actually was a huge point of contention with him. So he became jealous and possessive and began abusing her physically and emotionally. So not only was it just emotionally and mentally, it breached it.
Right. Was she still pregnant at this time?
No, she had already given birth. So she had a non-complicated pregnancy and everything went fine. I found nothing really on the pregnancy itself, just that she was pregnant, she gave birth. Pregnancy was fine.
Okay.
So there is a documentary on Peacock which interviewed their friends and family, and we got the backstory of the two of them. And let me tell you, I watched it, used my friend's Peacock account, got one word for you: oof.
I bet.
Throughout the entire documentary, audiences saw footage of their fights that Ollie actually recorded, and you can hear voice memos that he would actually send her. He accused Anna of cheating and would say that he was the reason she was able to come to the United States. There was no other reason that she could have been able to get a life here, you know?
Yeah.
To Anna's friends and experts interviewed in the documentary, this indicated that he viewed her as his property and that he owned her. So, of course, the TikTok star murders is a heartbreaking story of an abusive relationship between a couple that was actually hiding in plain sight.
Right.
Even though everybody thought that their relationship was perfect, everything that was their worst moments or her worst moments were captured on social media.
Right.
So the documentary was released 3 days before Ollie was sentenced for the crime he committed. But little did anybody who followed them know what was fated until the end, in which two people died.
Ugh,
I
I hate
went,
it.
well, when everything hit the news, I went back and I found out I was following her, but I wasn't following him.
Yeah.
She posted like dance and get ready with me videos and a lot of other fun stuff. So I followed her for that because she did skincare routines, and I was like, okay, like
Right.
I'm gonna do that. Allie was constantly jealous, and his narcissism kept rearing its ugly head. And sometimes he would live stream his arguments with his wife.
Which is never
It's never
a
good,
great thing.
and unfortunately, it not unfortunately, it was actually fortunate for her. It was saved in TikTok. So when you do live
Right.
streams, they save it.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up getting your own little subfolder. And my live streams, like if I live streamed it, it would save for a month, and now it's just saved forever. So all the lives that you've
Right.
done are in there. So in 2021, he posted content on TikTok that was troubling for a lot of people to see. A lot of him accusing her of cheating on him and berating her for not putting out. After multiple domestic violence incidents, Anna broke up with Ali, and he told Anna she could stay in the apartment while he left. So he found somewhere else to stay.
Oh.
Because she was staying in their apartment, what does this mean, Rachel?
He's going to kill her.
He regularly used cocaine, even snorting it while live streaming. Which I don't understand how that was acceptable, because you can't even vape on live.
Right.
So I
And
don't.
sometimes you can't even cuss online. Like,
I got flagged for saying the word shit.
right.
Like, come on now. Shit, fuck, damn. By the way, for those of us who use the podcast for a drinking game. Sorry, guys. So he kept careful documentation of their turmoil in personal videos, some of them which he shared with nearly 1 million TikTok followers that he had.
Ugh.
In such live streams, One of them was featured on the documentary. Ali talks to the phone camera while his wife quietly sits on the couch. Quote, "Don't get married, guys. I threw my whole life away for her."
Wow.
Viewers sent their support to Ali in the comments, one telling him, "Be strong." Another one suggested the police might be en route to his home. "When they get there, just keep your mouth shut," he said. A month before the shooting, Anna had filed a police report documenting his abuse. Per the DDA, the district attorney, Terry Brast said the pretrial hearing reported on by the Los Angeles Times that she had been abused. October 21st, Anna and her friend Rayburn Barron were murdered in a fit of rage.
What the hell?
That morning, Anna took her daughter to school. Ali used a copy of the electronic key to get into the apartment and vandalized the apartment. Hours earlier, Anna had texted Ali telling him in no uncertain terms, "I want you out of my life."
Understandably.
Before he left, after tossing the entire apartment, Ali installed an app on his daughter's iPad that allowed him to listen in on all the conversations.
That's never good.
No. When Anna returned home, she called a friend to tell them the apartment was a mess. Knowing it was Ali who caused it, she said on the phone she wanted to clean it up so her daughter wasn't confused. She also said she was going to get a restraining order against him. She asked her friend to come pick her daughter up from school so she could clean. She then called her friend Rayburn Barron to come over to help. So he was just a friend. It wasn't anybody she was like
Right. It was somebody she felt safe with.
Right. It wasn't anybody that she could ever worry about, if that made sense.
Right.
So Ali was known to be jealous of him because of the comment he had made once about Ali being lucky to have a wife as beautiful as Anna.
Well, yeah. Because she was gorgeous. Like,
Right. And I mean, here's the
he
thing.
meant nothing by it other
Right.
than,
Man, aren't you lucky? You know?
right.
I mean, you make those comments.
Right.
Katie makes those comments. Emily makes those comments. Other people make those comments. Like, Josh is like, "I know a lot of people love you. You know, I know you're loved, but you're my wife." And I said, "Yeah, but you don't have to worry about those people. I'm obsessed with you. You're my husband.
Right.
I've been engaged 5 times. I've never gotten married." That should tell you something. So anyways.
Exactly.
Bless me. Excuse me. So when Ali heard a man's voice come over the iPad, because mind you, he installed that spy software, right?
Right.
He rushed over to her apartment. This is where I know it's bad. The whole thing is bad. But this is where it gets equally worse because not only did he incriminate himself in his TikTok videos, he recorded himself killing them. Because mind you, the audio was on the iPad, right?
Right.
So my chair kept going down again.
It's okay.
So not only that, I think he live streamed it.
Probably because
He's a terrible person.
exactly.
No, it's just the audio. So he
But
apparently
still, that's just as incriminating.
right. So he apparently did a video earlier that day, and he did call his mother after. But if you watch the documentary, it's so sad. Like, I'm just sitting there going, Jesus Christ. So footage from a neighbor's security camera was played in court. It showed Ali entering the apartment, and then multiple gunshots were followed. In the documentary, audiences can hear audio recordings from Ali's phone of him breaking into the apartment, subsequently shooting her and her friend. Promptly after the shooting, because remember, the iPad has the listening device on it, right?
Right. And everything's recorded.
Allie called his mother confessing to the murders. Allie was arrested and confessed 5 hours later. At the time of the murders, he had 940,000 followers at the time. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and gun use allegation and special circumstances allegation of committing multiple murders. A preliminary hearing of the case in January of 2022 was described by an attorney in the documentary as explosive. Allie lost his temper after a detective described the relationship between Anna and Rayburn as becoming more romantic.
I mean, they were probably getting closer, but
they were probably getting
who knows
closer.
about what way.
Right. As the judge tells him to calm down, he becomes enraged and starts to yell at the judge. "You think I wanted this? For my 5-year-old daughter," he screamed. "Who the fuck are you? I'm fucking hurt. My life is destroyed." Who did that? He did.
Right.
He did. He has no right to get angry at the judge. He's the one that pulled the trigger.
Exactly.
The judge compared Allie's Scarfake impressions with why the social media personality killed his estranged wife and her friend without remorse. In an interview featured in the documentary, Allie shared his side of the story on a local news channel with reporter Kelsey Christensen. He said that social media fame made him snap and that it messed up his brain, and the attention he got on social media made him violent and aggressive.
No, you just had an outlet to show everybody your true self.
Right. Also in the interview, Allie talked about losing his baby, referring to his career. Not his actual child.
Your child should be your baby.
Right.
Not a career.
After the interview, someone posted a video on YouTube on his behalf, which features a phone call where Allie tells his fans that he's, ready? Doing okay for the most part, and apologizes for not being able to make them more content.
Wow.
Yeah. So, just to give you a glimpse, let me just... Let me see if it'll let me do this. Nope. Okay. So this is Allie and Anna.
Right.
Okay. And this is Anna and Rayburn. They look happy. Like the other photos, you can see the smile doesn't reach her eyes, as, you know, our lovely, you know, catwalk friend,
right,
Tyra Banks would say, she smiles. You know?
Right.
So, Ali was then criticized for apologizing to his fans rather than the families of the victims. I would too.
Right.
Our hosts would also criticize him for doing what he did. Ali confessed again while on the stand. Direct quote. "Before I could stop myself, I just fucking snapped. My gun was in my hand, and the next thing I'm shooting and I can't stop."
Why'd you go over there with a gun to begin with?
Hold on, I get there. "I'm just shooting. I'm shooting and I'm even startled. It's like I'm watching it happen, like I'm a passenger seat of my own body." So, of course, trial began, right? Huge. It was all over the news. It lasted from May 1st until the 29th, when he was found guilty on 2 charges of first-degree murder. First degree is premeditated.
Right.
Okay.
He went over there with the gun.
Allie had this to say about committing the crime. If I could undo all of this, I wouldn't hesitate. I wish this never happened. That's what most
Well,
people
you
say.
can't backtrack.
Right. I would get on my hands and knees and beg Anna for forgiveness. Forgiveness for becoming distracted and letting my anxiety and my insecurities affect my thoughts and my behavior towards Anna and towards her strength. Forgiveness for using cocaine as a remedy for becoming addicted because for neglecting my responsibilities to you, Anna, as your husband, my responsibilities as a father, and for allowing the drugs to turn me into a pathetic, empty shell of the man she fell in love because of these factors. I lost myself. That's direct. So it's all sort of, you can tell his brain's fucked.
Right. I mean, drugs do that, guys.
Right. He got emotional when speaking of the couple's daughter, Amira. When you're old enough to see this, please don't blame yourself, he said, crying. None of this is your fault. Your mother loves you. I love you so much. You're the strongest girl I've ever known, and I'm so proud to be your father. I put in my notes, insert yakking noise here. While he's never denied pulling the trigger and killing the victims, Ali had argued that he acted in the heat of passion after discovering his wife was having an extramarital relationship. Listen, they were separated. He moved out.
Right.
She was
choosing to try and find happiness and rebuild herself.
Right. So he was scheduled to be sentenced on June 28th, but it was postponed.
Right.
During Ali's sentencing, the crowd cheered and he mockingly clapped in response with a video that preceded the thing. Hold on, I have a picture of it. Hold on. Look at this. And this was right before the sentencing. So that was after, and this was right before. You can see his facial expression changed.
Right.
I was like, you
many choice words person.
Right. So when the courtroom burst into applause and cheers, Ali whipped his head around and mockingly joined in with the applause and then turned around and muttered, "Fuck you," to the judge. The judge had this to say, Jeffrey Frazier. Jeffrey Frazier is a really good Superior Court judge. He's put through a lot in California, and gotta say, love you. So he said, he's a very selfish person, and I think the jury saw that. The bottom line here is that he will die in prison. He will never be a free man, and he will take his last breath there. Pleading his case in court, Ali cited his suffering from an untreated mental illness and the crippling addiction to cocaine is what caused his drug-induced psychosis that made him carry out
bullshit.
Right, that made him carry out the double homicide in a fit of jealous rage. Personally, I believe everyone should have the ability to parole because everyone has the ability to change, Ali said.
Except for you. You don't have the ability to change.
I call Bologna.
Everybody has the ability to change, except for him.
Except for him, and the other murderers that we've discussed, especially Kemper. Let me tell you, that fucked up my brain for a couple of days, man.
Oh, I know.
Judge Frazier denied the defense's stance that Ali killed, quote, in the heat of passion, as pointed out by how embittered ex installed spyware on his daughter's iPad to monitor her. So it's not that he installed it like that day. He had previously installed it before.
Right.
So it's not the first time that he installed that software.
Exactly.
So
he just happened to finally hear something he didn't like.
Right. So jurors also heard that Ali copied the electronic key card to enter the luxury apartment without permission. He began audio recording just before executing what Judge Frazier called willful, deliberate, premeditated, cold-blooded murder.
Yeah.
So the judge did have this to say about Ali's viral video success. He's a very talented actor. When I first saw the Scarface videos, it's as if he committed these crimes and he became that persona, Scarface, of just the
Mm-hmm.
cold-blooded killing without remorse. He said that Ali's tears shed through the trial, have been for himself and as a show.
Oh,
Upon
100%.
Oh yeah, upon sentencing, the judge had said he had serious reservations that Ali was truly remorseful for his actions and that he actually wasn't remorseful. He's a very selfish person, as I think the jury saw. He said it very seriously. I put
Right.
serious face. The bottom line here is he will die in prison and he will take his last breath there. The court allowed 6 of Anna and Barron's loved ones to provide victim statements.
Good.
Anna's sister was visibly upset when she screamed at Ali about the effects the losses had on the family. Ali, if I had known what my sister was going through and all of that abuse, if I had known, I would have flown again to see her and take her and Amira away. You promised
Right.
my mom you would take care of them like my parents did for Anna Marie and Amira back in the Philippines. But I had no idea that my sister's life would be miserable living with you. You treated my sister like she didn't matter, but she mattered. So Rayburn, his family described their little brother as caring and a family man. Tearfully,
Yeah.
they said that he would go out of his way to help others and that their family hasn't been the same since his loss. His sister, Elizabeth, said, "We are often told that we are such a strong family for surviving. But the reality is that this has been the most difficult thing that we have ever experienced, and that many of us are left broken. The pain and trauma of losing our brother the way we did was so painful that we have a difficulty living a normal and healthy life." It was then Ali's turn to shine and to give
Of
his
course.
impact statement. He apologized for the pain he caused the two families, but continued to defend his actions as a crime of passion during a drug-induced psychosis. Can we just talk about addiction here for a second? As someone who was addicted, there are
Mm-hmm.
certain things that you do when you're addicted that you don't think will hurt people. Because hurt people, right?
Yes.
So during that time, not only was I homeless, I was alone, I was working 3 jobs, I wasn't in a good place, right?
Yeah.
When I got sober, it was the best decision I have ever made. And I mean, looking back, I was the worst version of myself. And this was because Josh and I knew each other at that time. And this was after I stopped being friends with a good chunk of my friends.
Yeah.
This was before I met a lot of people that I ended up getting out of my life because I was like, I can't be around that.
Yeah. No.
I
100% makes sense.
I can't allow myself to be around that at all anymore. And I will never forget one of my roommates telling me that me becoming sober was the worst part of myself and that I wasn't
Of
fun
course.
Katie anymore. Yeah. So Josh never calls me Katie anymore. Devin, I think, is the only person. Devin and Katie are the only people who call me Katie still. Everybody else calls me Catherine or Kat or Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Because Katie died. Katie died back then. Katie doesn't exist
Right.
anymore. And I think him using the drug-induced psychosis is bullshit.
100%.
Because he had the mental wherewithal. We're going to continue going. I have 3 more pages. He had the mental wherewithal to grab the gun, go to her house, mess up her house, install the spyware, leave the house
And wait until
until
she
he
got
saw
back.
something. Right. So the fact that I spent more time on the stand than the jury took to deliberate my fate is very concerning, he said. And he asked the judge to give him a chance to rehabilitate himself.
No, you don't get that.
Why did he think that he could get away with this?
Because he's Delulu.
Most people are.
Valid.
Before sentencing, the defense argued for a retrial based on the line of questioning from prosecution that prompted an outburst from Ali during the trial. The judge had previously ruled the line of questioning should be stricken from the record, but the defense, unhappy with the decision, chose to cross-examine their defendant.
Okay.
Ali and his attorneys emphasized that he was suffering from a severe untreated mental illness and crippling
Yeah, it's
addiction.
called dead brain cells from the drugs.
Right, and crippling addiction to cocaine.
Yep.
Which he called an unintended impulsive reaction to committing the murders. That's what he said, an unintended impulsive reaction. It's truly unfortunate, despite the overwhelming evidence, that this is a crime of passion, and the jury still landed on this verdict. My dude.
You can't get everything your way. This is not...
Can't always get what you want. So, the defense argued that those two questions from prosecution, which should not have been asked during the trial, the judge agreed, tainted the jury's opinion of their client and should lead to mistrial. However, Judge Fraser ruled on the appeal the moment in question and did not taint the jury's opinion. The defendant was on the stand for 3 days. So the jury had an extraordinary amount of time to evaluate his credibility. And the idea that it would come down to, again, 2 insignificant questions is just unreasonable.
Right.
So he was eventually found guilty on May 29th, 2024, so this year. Since there was no dispute that he killed Anna and Rayburn, jurors were asked and tasked with deciding whether the killings were first or second-degree murder.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The defense was hopeful that the jury could not found him guilty of second-degree murder and his sentencing exposure would have been far less. He was instead found guilty of all counts and of special circumstances. Let's just... By the way, every time I hit that button, we both put our hands in the air like we're clapping via sign language style. And it's funny, it's become a thing. We do it every time now.
Yes.
So the jury came in and listened to all the evidence for weeks, and they came to the right decision. After the verdict was announced, Rayburn's sister, Jordana, told NBC7 that her brother and Anna got a little bit of justice done.
Yes.
After the verdict was announced, Lawyer Brast, the DDA, in her closing arguments before they came down to the judgment, she went through a timeline of the entire day, right? So not just him killing her, right? They described how Ali broke into the house, spied on Anna.
All the things.
All the things, right? Heat of passion does not apply when you walk into an apartment that you bugged with a key card you're not supposed to have to a fight no one else knew was happening but you.
Exactly.
And the fact that you brought a gun, that is not heat of passion.
Nope.
That's why I was like, wait, it gets better. So the DDA said that Ali had plenty of time to rethink his decision on the drive to downtown. Because he was coming from across town.
Right. And it's not like he walked from 2 doors down.
No, not at all. So it was eventually brought up, the graphic photos Ali took on his phone after the murder.
Dumbass.
He even mentioned online searches on how to cut up and dispose of a body, among other things. She said,
the fuck?
She said that Ali killed the couple because he felt, quote, disrespected, and it was planned and premeditated and not a reaction to the heat of the moment, which Ali claims.
100%.
The DDA also mentioned the history of domestic violence and numerous phone calls to police, and Anna's text messages to Allie expressing her fear and desire to leave the marriage and ask for a divorce.
Right.
She was also asking for him to have chances and to rethink his actions, including the drive to the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Direct quote, "Even in the ride up to the elevator, it was willful, deliberate, and premeditated."
Yeah.
So Jody Green, the defense attorney, argued, told the court her client shouldn't be convicted of murder because of a bad childhood.
That has nothing to do with your adult decisions.
Excuse me, I beg to differ. I had a bad childhood. Do you see? Well, not all childhood, but I had some bad shit happen. Do you see me going around murdering people? Absolutely not.
You put them in a jar, but that's not murder.
Listen, that is not murder. That is
That
witchcraft.
is letting the universe having karma effect.
Yes. Listen, I would rather karma take over and do what she does.
Right? Because she could be a bigger bitch than I ever have to be.
Listen, there are things that karma has done for me that I love, like giving my brother balding.
Yes.
Male pattern baldness. Granted, it starts in the 30s in our family, like the early 30s.
She let it start earlier.
Yeah. Anyways, so she said that she cited bad childhood, mental health issues, and cocaine high. Allie is not
all adult choices.
Hold on. You're going to get angry. You ready? Allie is not a murderer. He killed Anna, the woman he loved, the mother of his daughter, beautiful daughter Amira, and he killed Ray, the man whom Anna was having an affair. They were separated. And he cannot undo what he has done, but he did not murder them. He is not a murderer.
Then what is he? A rabbit?
But that doesn't make any sense. Right. So then his defense attorney argued that it was manipulation and that Anna dragged Allie along. And that she pointed out to the fact that Allie was re-racking his gun in between shots, which is unnecessary, and that it proves he was out of his mind, as well as he had cocaine in his systems 8 hours later, proving he was not of sound mind.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So on Friday, September 6th, Allie was hit with 2 consecutive life sentences. Because remember, it was postponed. The sentencing was postponed. So the grand jury didn't give him his sentence. The judge did.
Yes.
So, Anna, when she passed away, was 28. Rayburn was 29. The decision came after Allie was found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder, and after the jury had proof that he went back to their once shared apartment in the East Village.
Yeah.
They were apparently sitting on the couch talking when he shot them.
Right.
They weren't embraced. They weren't anything. They were just
talking.
The bottom line here is, the judge told him, you will die in prison. You will never be a free man.
Good.
The judge sentenced him to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus another 15 years behind, 50, not 15, behind bars for gun enhancement charges. He called Allie a very selfish person and noted that the TikToker had not shown any remorse. It's chilling, he said. Being sent to prison forever feels like I'm being sent to hell, and I don't think that's fair. And that is the story of Anna Abulaban and Rayburn Cardenas Barron. I have a PSA, a little PSA for our listeners. As everybody on this podcast is survivor of some form of domestic violence, in one form or another. It does not have to be physical. It does not have to be emotional. It does not have to be mental. There are many forms of abuse. Um, if you're,
Financial abuse is still a form of
oh
abuse.
yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend that did that, and that was, I didn't have, we were talking about it on the Dorothea episode, having a separate bank
Yeah.
account. I was not allowed to have control of my finances, but that's besides the point. If you are experiencing DV, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. They are toll free and completely confidential. Ooh, I am so sorry.
What do we knock over?
The microphone.
Oh man.
So it's toll free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7, 365. They do not take a day off. It is available in 170 languages. And if you need ASL or ESL, which is English Sign Language,
Mhm.
British Sign Language, um, they have that too. They have interpreters
Yes.
for sign language as well. Um, they also have a texting hotline. It is a text to 88788. Oh, they've upped it. They have over 200 interpretation services available.
Love that.
They also have chat on their website, which is thehotline.org. So if you actually go on there, they have an open chat. There's also an
Okay.
app you can download that looks like a regular app. Um, in California, there is a wonderful service called Rainbow House. They got me safe. They got a bunch of my friends safe. They got us into protective housing. And I ended up donating a lot of time after I got out to helping those people. And
Yeah.
I still send people there, you know.
Oh yeah.
Um and I wanted to read this one next, so I'm done. I don't have to read it again.
Right.
um but if you're involved in something, say something, you know.
If you think somebody is in a bad situation,
If you see
say
something,
something.
say something. It's one of those things where it's like, you know,
Yeah. It's the same thing with human trafficking. If you see something, say something.
right. It's if I could go back, if future me currently could go back to past me and tell me, don't trust those people, don't hang out with those people, don't move in with these people,
Right.
I would have been so safe.
Yeah, but we can't change the past. We can just learn from it.
We can just learn from it. So if you are in a toxic relationship or need to get out, there are ways to get help, even if you don't have
Yes.
enough money. Like we said on a previous episode, if you need help, we can get you help.
And if you're staying only because you're scared of what he will do to or what they will do to animals, there are shelters, DV shelters that will take animals.
And they will give them back to you
Yes.
when you get out.
They will house you and your animals.
And as far as, one of the main things that I get really angry about, legitimately, Rachel see me get angry about this. Men get hit too. Men
Yes.
suffer a lot of abuse. One in, what is it? 1 in 20. 1 in 20 is abused, and it's very,
Yeah.
very common. Um,
But because
there's a stipulation.
female DV is more talked about, um,
Right.
it's it's
More,
harder for men to come forward with
right.
it.
Right. And it's more like widely, not accepted, but like widely discussed
Mm-hmm.
is, female abuse. And it's one of those things where it's like it's not fair,
Right.
you know, like men suffer abuse too. Um Also, if you need help and you're in crisis and you need to, get sober or anything like that, I know lots of places you can go and do Zooms online if you don't feel comfortable going into a meeting. If you just want to
Right.
sit and you just want to listen, there's help there too. There's lots of different ways to get help.
Yes.
I hated researching this.
I can imagine.
It was not right.
No, not at all. It's horrible. Because I was following along with, like,
When it came out,
yeah, as it was proceeding, and I was just like, I hate this.
oh yeah. And I mean, like, I was doing research the other day on this,
Mm-hmm.
and I just, like, started crying. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No."
No, not at all.
I don't know where to go from here.
Right.
Um, I think we're just gonna
Ended here.
call it a day. Um,
Yeah, pretty much all we can do.
yeah, we can't really do anything else about it. Um,
But stay safe, guys.
Stay feral,
Bite the hand.
and we'll see you guys next
Okay, bye.
time. Okay, bye. Next time on the Pandemonium Witches.
So she started street walking the highways in Florida. She robbed and shot dead 7 men after claiming that they either raped her or attempted to, and that the murders were committed in self-defense. She went by like 6 different names.
Yeah.
Almost a full year she was doing.
Right.
She was murdering.
Right.
And she was finally arrested January 9th, 1991.
Right. She was a pretty terrible individual.
I was gonna say a character. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great word. A character is a good word to call her. Sure. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go with that.
Because it could go either way. It could be a good character or a bad character. We don't know.